Every single company out there is searching for the perfect worker. But what if? What if that perfect worker could actually break the entire global economy? I know, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But this is a real paradox, and it's right at the heart of AI. We have to understand it, because honestly, it could change, well, everything.
Just think about it for a second. A worker that never, ever sleeps, never asks for a raise, and can process information, I don't know, 1,000,000 times faster than you or me. I mean, that's the big promise of AI, isn't it? But here's the catch. As we're racing to build this perfect worker, we're completely ignoring a huge fundamental flaw in the plan. There's this hidden cost that could completely unravel the very system AI is supposed to be making better.
See, the thing is, while AI is all set to make productivity just skyrocket, it's also creating this massive crack in the very foundation of our economy. And look, this goes way beyond the whole robots are taking our jobs conversation. This is a much deeper, more systemic problem. It's a fundamental breakdown, and we're going to call it the mass demand gap.
Okay, so to really get why AI is such a big deal, why it's so disruptive, we got to go back to basics. We need to understand the simple, elegant engine that's been powering our world for over a century. It's basically a loop, a circle that connects the stuff we make with the money we use to buy that stuff.
Economists call it the circular flow of income, and at its core, you've really only got two main players. You've got firms, the companies making things, and you've got households. That's us. We're both the workers and the consumers. And the whole system, the whole shebang, relies on money just flowing between these two groups in a continuous, non-stop loop.
All right, let's break this down. Step 1. It all starts with us, with people. In what's called the resource market, households, so you and me, we provide our time, our labor, our skills to companies. And in return, we get a paycheck. We get wages. That's the first absolutely critical step. You work, you get money.
Okay, so now the firms, the companies, they take all that labor we just gave them, and they use it to create, everything. The car you drive, the phone in your pocket, the food you eat, the software you use, you name it. They're basically turning our human effort into all these goods and services. And then they put it all up for sale in what's called the product market.
And this is the magic part. This is where the whole loop closes. We, the workers, take those wages we just earned, and we go out and buy the very things we just helped make. See? The money flows right out of our pockets and straight back to the firms. That completes the circle. And that circle, that's the literal lifeblood of our economy.
So this is the key takeaway, the point you absolutely have to remember. A worker wears two hats. They're two things at once. To a single company, my salary is just a cost, right? It's a line item on a spreadsheet. But for the economy as a whole, that same salary is demand. It's purchasing power. It's what keeps the whole engine turning.
And you know what? For a really long time, this circle, this loop, it's been surprisingly stable. It works. But now we're dropping a brand new, incredibly powerful element right into the middle of it all. AI. And folks, this is where the loop starts to crack.
So think about it. When a company replaces, say, 1,000 human workers with one AI system, that circle we talked about, it just snaps. It breaks. Now, from the company's point of view, this is amazing. It's a huge win. Productivity goes through the roof, and costs just plummet. They don't have to pay 1,000 salaries anymore. But you have to look at the other side of that coin.
Because what happens to those 1,000 workers? Well, they're not getting a paycheck anymore. And if you don't have a paycheck, you can't be a consumer. You can't buy things. So what we're doing by automating labor on this massive scale is we're literally removing the consumer from the economy.
And this brings us right to the heart of the paradox. We're building this incredible world with the potential for just unbelievable abundance. A world where companies can make more stuff, more efficiently than ever before in human history. But at the exact same time, we're taking away the one thing people need to participate, the entry ticket. And that ticket is the paycheck.
This growing gap, this giant chasm between our power to produce things and people's ability to actually buy them, that has a name. It's the mass demand gap. And what it really represents is a catastrophic failure of our current economic model when it comes face to face with this new technology.
Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Hey, we've been through this before. What about the Industrial Revolution? And that's a fair point, but this time, it's different. It's really different. See, back then, machines replaced muscle power, manual tasks. But that created new jobs that required our brains. The AI revolution is different because it's replacing intelligence itself. It's replacing decision-making, the very thing that made human workers valuable after the last revolution.
And the problem becomes crystal clear when you just look at the two forces here. On one side, you have AI-powered supply, which can grow exponentially. It's almost limitless. But on the other side, you have consumer demand, which is tied directly to human wages. As AI takes over jobs, that demand just shrinks and shrinks. And what you're left with is this massive, totally unsustainable gap.
And when that gap gets too wide, well, that's when things get scary. It can trigger a terrifying economic phenomenon. It's called a deflationary death spiral. And it's exactly what it sounds like, a cycle of collapse that feeds on itself, and it is incredibly hard to stop once it gets going.
Let me walk you through how it plays out. First, you've got these super efficient AI factories just churning out tons of stuff, but nobody has the money to buy it, so inventory piles up. What do companies do? They're forced to slash prices, just to sell anything. But of course, lower prices mean lower profits. So to cut costs, they lay off even more workers. And more layoffs means, you guessed it, even fewer consumers. The market shrinks again. The cycle just keeps repeating, getting worse each time, until the entire machine of capitalism just grinds to a halt.
So the big question is, what on earth do we do about this? And let's be clear, the problem isn't that AI is bad. It's not. The problem is that our economic system, a system built for a world of human labor, is just fundamentally incompatible with a technology that could make a lot of that labor obsolete.
And thinking about it that way completely reframes the whole conversation, doesn't it? AI isn't the villain in this story. It's an incredible tool with incredible power. The real problem is we're trying to use a 21st century tool, but we're still playing by a 20th century rulebook. Our entire system is built on one core assumption, that to have the right to consume things, you first have to produce something through your labor.
So maybe, just maybe, the only way forward is to break that direct link between work and survival. And that means we have to get serious about looking at new ways to get purchasing power into people's hands. You know, ideas that used to sound so radical, things like universal basic income, or maybe paying people for their data, or completely new ways of distributing wealth, these aren't just crazy sci-fi ideas anymore. They're quickly becoming potential economic necessities.
At the end of the day, this leaves us with a really profound question. It's not just about economics anymore, it's about philosophy. In a world where we have almost total automation, a world of incredible abundance, what does it even mean to earn a living? If AI is doing all the work, how do we make sure that every single person has the right to live and to thrive in the incredible new world it helps create?